Good evening. Welcome to Sex with Mur. I'm Mur. Tonight our main topic is going to be sexual communication. We're going to have 4 callers tonight, and we're going to get right started. Our first caller is Peter from Quahog. Peter, what's your question?
Hi, Mur. My girlfriend and I have been together for over a year now.
Okay.
Lately she's been saying that I don't listen to her enough, and she feels like I don't pay attention, when really I am.
All right.
When I tell her I am paying attention, she always asks, then why don't I ever respond? How do I assure her that I am listening?
All right. Before I answer that, I'm going to ask you a question. When she is asking you to do something or talking to you, are you focusing on her, or are you watching TV or playing PlayStation, stuff like that?
Well, I don't always give her my full attention, but I really do try.
All right. Just by the question, it sounds to me like you're being more of a passive listener, and you definitely. It seems like maybe you're going to stare into space or say, uh-huh, when she's talking to you. One thing I would want to work on with you is being an active listener. You want to actively communicate, seem generally interested in the conversation, and use body language. You want to nod your head when she's talking to you, and just assure her that you are listening to her. And, you know, it might take away your 15 minutes of PlayStation, but as long as she knows that you're listening to her, it'll make things so much better. Did you have any more questions?
No, not at all. You've been a great help. Thanks.
Good luck, Peter.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move right on to our second caller, Sally from Wisconsin. Are you there, Sally?
Yeah, how are you, Mur?
Very good. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. I have a question.
All right.
My boyfriend and I have been together for about 8 months now. We're sexually active, but it's getting kind of boring. We're getting into the same old dull routine. And I've asked him if there's anything he'd like to do to spice things up a bit, maybe get more exciting, but he always gets really defensive and finds it kind of insulting that I'm like telling him he could be better or something like that. So how could I approach it in a more, positive tone?
Okay. This is actually very, very common among some couples. You wanna make discussing your sexual preferences as easy as discussing your dinner plans. You want it to be natural and flowing, and you want to reassure your partner that it's okay to talk about these feelings. So one way to do that is using I language, and I language is just rephrasing how you're feeling to make it feel as though you're not putting it on your partner. An example of this would be, I feel as though I'm boring you in the bedroom. Is there anything I can do to spice things up? This way it gets him thinking about the situation, but it also shows that you're not putting it on him. You can say, is there anything that you would like to try? Maybe give him choices instead of just using open-ended questions. This way he also gets thinking about the topic, but isn't going to, put up his guard and think that you're saying that it's bad. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, now we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Are you sick of dealing with the stereotypical competitive man? Are you tired of your girl treating every conversation like it's a deep, meaningful test? Then you should try new Reverso Massage Oil. With a satisfying tingling sensation, this oil will make both of you good communicators. With just one sensual application, she'll start being defensive, and he'll start calling just to hear your voice. Brought to you by the makers of Big O Cereal, the cereal that brings out the plateau in you.
All right, welcome back. We're moving right on to our third caller. His name is Tristan from San Francisco. Tristan?
Oh my God, am I on?
You are. How are you?
I am so super today. How are you doing, Mur? I love your show.
Oh, thank you. What was your question?
I'm getting so nervous. I just love being on. I was just wondering, I've been dating my boyfriend Miguel for quite some time now.
Okay.
And it just seems like every time that we get in the bed or get in the mood to do something, his body language says yes 1 minute and says no the next. Okay. And then once we start doing things, it just seems that, he's just staring off into space, and sometimes it feels like making love to a corpse instead of interacting with my partner.
Okay. Well, it seems to me like you and Miguel are not on the same page. All right. You want to make Miguel, he wants to feel that you want this for the both of them and not just for the sex. Are you in love with Miguel?
I love him to death.
Well, you want to make sure he knows that. You want to use the I language like I talked about with our previous caller, Sally. If you want to discuss something with him, don't put it all on him. Use the I language. It seems like you guys need to work on your nonverbal communication a little bit. You need to understand each other, verbally and nonverbally. So when you're talking to each other, make sure you use the eye contact, body language, and positive sounds in the bedroom are nice, and also positive feedback. So hopefully that'll all work out for you. Do you think that answered your question?
Yeah, do you think it'll work, Mur? I'm sure hope so. I just love him.
If you guys love each other as much as it sounds, I think that this will work.
Thanks, Mur. You're such a peach. I love your show.
Oh, thank you. Bye. Moving on to our fourth question. It's actually sent to us tonight via email, so just whenever that comes up. There's my co-host, Stuart. Thank you, Stuart. Okay, our fourth question tonight comes from Pamela in Denver. She says, my husband and I have recently gotten into arguments because he never wants to talk about an issue when it happens. He says, I don't want to talk about it. And when he decides to talk about it, he brings up other issues to add to the problem. How do we resolve this issue? Well, Pamela, it sounds to me like you're dealing with a stonewaller. And for you sex communication virgins out there, a stonewaller is actually someone who puts up a wall, a literal wall, because he doesn't want to listen to his partner, his or her partner's response. He feels as though it's not going to help the situation at all, so he just doesn't want to hear it. One way to, get through this wall, if you will, is to use eye language, like we talked about earlier in the show. Tell your partner, I want to work on this issue, or I feel as though something might be my fault. What do you think we could do to work on it? So you're not pushing it off on him. You want to validate his response to the situation so it doesn't seem like you're insulting him. That way he will get the point and understand to see things your way as well. Like I said earlier, you don't want to be hurtful to your partner in any way, because that's not the point. You want to get through this argument together and not let it, build up. And one way to not let things build up is you want to talk about the situation as soon as it happens. You want to squash that bug before it gets bigger. Therefore, there won't be any added issues to bring up, like you said, when you argue about something. Pamela, I hope this works for you, and let me know how that goes. Well, everyone, the time has come to wrap up the night. I hope everyone enjoyed the show and they can take their verbal communication and work with it sexually. Thank you very much. Good night, guys.
Temper, I never wanted to be temper. I never wanted to be Mr. I can't